it began subtly. At first, people noticed strange things that seemed almost magical. Coffee in mugs didn't settle. Small droplets hovered in the air, sparkling like tiny suspended jewels. Papers and pens floated above desks, as if mocking gravity itself. Children laughed nervously, thinking it was a trick of the sunlight streaming through their windows. Then, without warning, the world tilted on its invisible axis. Gravity had disappeared completely. Buildings remained rooted to the earth, but everything inside them and on the streets drifted. Cars lifted gently off asphalt, spinning lazily in the air. Dogs and cats floated like playful clouds, meowing and barking at the sensation of weightlessness. Birds froze mid-flight, wings extended, their feathers glinting in the morning sun. For a brief, magical moment, the city became a floating, dreamlike landscape. Beautiful, surreal, and terrifying all at once. Evan, a young engineer with a fascination for physics and an insatiable curiosity, watched from his apartment window. His coffee mug hovered beside him, droplets orbiting in slow arcs. His notebook pages fluttered in midair, and pens spun around him like tiny satellites. At first, he laughed in disbelief, thinking it a dream. But as he stepped onto his balcony, the truth hit him. The world had changed. "Is this real?" he whispered, staring at the surreal spectacle below. Stepping into the streets, Evan experienced a new reality. The air itself seemed to lose weight. Every step pushed him gently backward. He grabbed a floating newspaper, but it slipped from his grasp, twirling around him like a leaf caught in a gentle storm. Cars hovered a few feet above the roads, spinning slowly in place. A cyclist clung desperately to his handlebars as he drifted through the air like a toy caught in invisible currents. People laughed, screamed, and tried to grab floating objects, their faces a mixture of terror and delight. For Evan, awe quickly gave way to fear. Gravity controlled everything: rivers, the air we breathe, the structural integrity of buildings, the movement of objects, the very rhythms of life. Without it, the world could become unstable in ways no one had imagined. He sprinted toward the city lab, dodging floating office chairs and spinning bicycles, and an astonished golden retriever spinning slowly in midair. Inside the lab, instruments floated like stars in a suspended galaxy, screens flickered, and papers hovered like glowing fireflies. At the center, a small black cube with glowing blue edges pulsed softly. Evan's mind raced. He remembered reading about secret experiments in hidden journals, devices capable of temporarily altering Earth's gravitational field. Someone had activated it, and now the city was in chaos. As he approached, the cube's glow intensified. A gentle force tugged at him, almost like the device was alive. One misstep, he realized, and he could be trapped in zero gravity forever, or worse, destabilize the planet entirely. Taking a deep breath, Evan reached out. His fingers brushed the surface. A pulse of energy surged through him, and suddenly he could influence the floating world around him. Objects moved at his will. Cars, papers, even people responded to his subtle gestures. He began guiding everything gently back toward the Earth's surface, correcting the trajectory of drifting objects. Slowly, gravity returned. Children laughed and screamed as they touched the ground. Dogs barked and landed lightly. Cars thudded softly on the asphalt. Papers fluttered into neat piles. The city breathed again, awakening from a strange, weightless dream. But even as the world righted itself, Evan felt the lingering thrill and danger of zero gravity. He realized that for a brief moment, humanity had glimpsed freedom from the invisible force that governed life itself. The cube pulsed one final time before going dark, as if acknowledging the lesson it had delivered. Whoever had created it had shown that while power without control could be catastrophic, the experience could also expand imagination. Evan spent the rest of the day walking through the city, helping people adjust to normal gravity. Some children clung to him, wide-eyed, recounting their floating adventures. Adults spoke of the beauty, the fear, the wonder. He noticed small things: a teacup still floating above a table, a balloon that drifted slightly higher than it should. But everyone laughed it off, unaware of the fragile balance that had existed only hours ago. He thought about how differently people viewed the world now. For a day, Ordinary routines had been replaced by impossibilities. Floating cars, spinning bicycles, dancing pets, and humans leaping into the sky reminded everyone that life was fragile and precious. One wrong choice could have turned the city into a chaos-filled disaster. The cube, silent now, had given humanity a glimpse of both power and responsibility. By evening, the sun dipped below the horizon. Evan returned to his apartment, exhausted but exhilarated. He placed the black cube in a secure hidden vault, understanding that it was too dangerous for casual use. Yet he also realized that humanity's imagination had been unlocked, its curiosity awakened. People would never forget the day gravity vanished. Even after gravity returned, Evan noticed small signs. Papers still drifting slowly, a balloon lingering higher than it should, a puddle of water that seemed reluctant to settle. They were reminders that for one magical day, the impossible had been real. And for a few fleeting hours, the world had floated in a dream of weightlessness. Evan sat on his balcony, watching the city hum back to life. He smiled, knowing that the day had taught a universal lesson. Even the forces we take for granted can change everything in a moment. And sometimes, the extraordinary is hidden in the most ordinary things. That day the world had touched the skies, and humanity had danced among the clouds, even if just for a little while. If you like this story, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share with your friends and family. So you don't miss the next powerful story coming your way, drop a heart in comment. Like and subscribe my channel, and visit my channel for full story videos.